Hi. Man, my head's still spinning and reeling with I just watched a video of a popular YouTube that goes around the different places in the world, and he showed Miami, Florida. He was visiting a house that was $100 million, and it was still under construction, and it had elaborate water systems and a pool and jacuzzi, all it like. I live on .8 of an acre. I live in a 12 by 12 cabin. I call it a cabin. It's really just a shack. That's pretty fancy for what I need, and I think that I've made it. I've made it in the fact that I'm 54 years old and I can work part time, menial task job. I don't have to put myself out like I did when I had my own business. I'd have to cater to a bunch of demanding people. I just show up, do what I'm supposed to, collect my pay, and then today I'm just sitting on my deck that's elevated off the ground in the forests of Appalachia, and one of the greatest joys today is to feel a cool breeze and sip my coffee. It really puts in perspective, for me anyway, by comparison, what I just witnessed about that part of the world in Miami. Being of the world, like everything that I saw in that video was of the world. It was, and and all of it depended on money. No one could live in those homes if they didn't have the money that they had. So then I started thinking about, how did they get that money? Most likely, although it may have taken hard work and many hours of interest and focus and concern to make that money, I'm I'm almost certain that most of those people with money haven't got it honestly. And I don't mean they didn't pay their taxes and stuff like that. I mean the people that work for them struggle, whereas they could have a decent income and a decent life if the profits from the whole in that organization were shared. And I don't mean equally. I'm not saying the dishwasher should make $750,000 a year, but why not? Imagine how clean the dishes would be in the restaurant. I feel sorry for a lot of those people because they just have to put on a show. They have to be concerned with the world so much that they have to have parties and invites and make contacts and schmooze this person and sway this person and donate for this to look good in the public eyes, so that way they're accepted by this group, and this group says this and they get a rubber stamp and you're good to go and you can do that and this and that and you're grandiose and wow and you're awesome and you're fantastic and your exuberance is just, Really? Wow. Once again, I'm waiting for a nice cool breeze. There it is. And you couldn't even see it. One of the best things that I'm waiting for, you can't even see. But you could see that $100,000 house from the water, from the street, from a YouTube video. I come from a place where it was getting very expensive to live. The rules and regulations are just over the top. It was forcing me to care about things that I don't care about. So I had to come and live in a forest. I didn't have to. God sent me here. Audibly, he said, "You will go here. You will get this. I will help you." Believe it or not. He knows your heart. He knows what you need. And he saw that my life was not in accordance to my surroundings. He saw that that was killing me, basically. He saw that I could better serve him living this tiny life that I have. I have a creek that runs through my property. I'm waterfront, baby. My boat isn't 45 feet long, but I can put a toy boat in there and just watch it go down the creek just the same if I was childlike. Yes, your yacht makes you childlike. Are you still oohing and eyeing at your built-in bar of your fancy boat? What a way to get drunk. Big requirements for your alcoholism. The nearest town, I'm equidistant to two different towns. The one town is the blue collar, very poor town. There's factories, and even those good paying factory jobs closed up, shipped off to China. The machines were taken from the factories and shipped over to China. Many of the workers that worked there their whole lives went over to China to train the workers over there how to do their jobs. And the town suffers for it. I mean, I found pay stubs from 1980, and $12 an hour was like, you were king of the hill, baby, at that job. Now, the other town was nothing. It was a bunch of closed up stores and everything 15, 20 years ago. Now, it's real bougie. Its main attraction are bars. There's that alcohol again. Why can't we talk to one another without booze? How come we can't stand each other's company without knocking our inhibitions down? Oh, I get to see a red-headed woodpecker right now. What if they have them in Miami? What if they would be considered a nuisance for putting holes in $100 million wooden eave? I used to think I was of the world just because I cared about my motorcycle, my motorcycles, or made sure my Jeep was running right, or I wanted to make my pathway up the hill to my cabin a little easier for when I get older. I used to ask God, please forgive me if I'm too focused on the world, for trying to make $500 a week. By comparison, it seems that I care nothing about this world to those in Miami. The woodpecker's going up the tree looking for food. There's an old snag here. It's a dead old tree still standing. We call them snags here. And it's got many holes in it. And I thought to cut it down because it could possibly fall in my little shack. But I realized that that's habitat and a food source for red-headed woodpecker. So I leave it. It's not obstructing my waterfront view. It's adding to my quality of life. I think earning my $400, $300, $400, $500 a week. I think sometimes I'm worried if I'm turning money into idolatry. Sometimes I save it, sock it away, so to speak, for my future. And I'm fearful of the Lord for idolizing my sold time and energy to feed myself and to pay off the tax man in the future. I'm not so certain that I'm guilty of that anymore, although I will keep watch on that, because I'm certain that even with people that can afford a $40 million, $70 million house, I'm certain they're thinking about money all day long. I only think about it when they hand it to me for earning it, or when I'm paying it out, or when I'm looking at the price of something, whether I should buy it or not. If I can make it or remake it out of trash, or use some old metal that I found, or even a bed frame or something, cut that up and make what I need, and that's how I do it. I might have to go buy some welding wire or some cutoff wheels for my grinder to you know, cut and paste said materials. But I'm sure not importing travertine tile from Italy. I believe Italy should keep their mountains the way they look. I got a jaw issue. Well, kind of rambled on here. That's how I usually do with these videos. So I guess the point of this video is to look at what you value. Look at how you look at money and see what you value more. The things that you can't see, like a cool breeze, God's grace and mercy and blessings on you, or do you focus on paper from men that can be manipulated? Another thing, those islands where those homes were, like a good 20 years ago, they were strawberry patches. They had cows. Something that could continue on no matter what the value of the dollar back then. But now, if the dollar becomes nothing, that $100 million house becomes an IOU, and that swimming pool pumps will fail and no one will repair them, and they'll just become urban blight. I'm going to enjoy this coffee. It was $5.98 for 12 ounces. Shalom.